Okay, so welcome everyone. It is August the 31st, 2022, and we're going to listen or do a channeling with Ashira again and learn all about the tsunami of love and other information. So let's start with an explanation of the tsunami of love with Linda Dillon, and this is from 2014.
The mother's tsunami of love is the gift of the mother's love, of the divine source, one love that is being sent to this planet to assist with our ascension process, to bring us to a higher octave and to a new state of being. It's an incredible time to be alive. And this gift is assisting us with the fulfillment of our mission and purpose. It's what we've waited for, it's what we've prayed for, it's what we've asked for. And it's a phenomenal gift. Some of us have volunteered eons ago to be the anchors for when this energy began to flow upon the planet. But regardless of whether we are an early anchor or sliding to home base, all of us, all of humanity, will receive this gift of love, will be penetrated wholly and completely, fully, by this wave of love. So let us begin. How we start this meditation is by taking yourself to the 13th octave. The 13th octave is a place, a state of being, of divine union. It is being anchored in and with the heart of one. It's being home. Previously, we had to die to actually have this situation, this state of being. But this is a gift that the Council of Love has given us. And one of the primary things of why I'm here on Earth. So how do we go to the 13th octave? Well, there's a download, a full meditation on the Council of Love website. And I would strongly urge you, the Council would strongly urge you to download that meditation and do it every day. But what I'm going to share with you as we begin the tsunami meditation is the mantra mudra. So how we begin is by putting our hands fingertips to fingertips, not like this, but curved. And by clicking our tongue 3 times and a 4th time for Gaia. So close your eyes. The first click takes you into your sacred temple, your sacred space. The second click, you are going up the sacred golden spiral, enfolded and carried by Archangel Gabriel. The third click, you are anchored and put in to the heart of one, Mother, Father, one. Now the 4th click is to anchor you firmly, also in the heart of Gaia. During this time of change, during this time of ascension and becoming and shift, however you conceive of it, is that it's important that we be firmly anchored consistently in the heart of Gaia. We don't want to be floating out in free space. So that is how we begin this meditation. It's unusual for a meditation to be a standing meditation, but this meditation for the tsunami of love is. And that's so the energy can move through you, out the back. It comes through the front, out the back. And so for this, you're going to begin to stand and hold on. Hold on to your desk or a chair or your bed, whatever's there. Because what I've been finding is that the energy is so strong and so powerful that you feel a little wobbly or uneven. So hang on. So close your eyes as we start. And feel yourself drifting and anchoring in your heart, in your beautiful tri-flame of the mother's blue diamond, of the father's gold diamond, and your unique, beautiful divine self, the pink diamond, right in the middle. Now let's begin by taking a nice deep breath of the mother's gift of clarity, that beautiful aquamarine blue topaz, and breathe it in through your nose, and on the out breath, feel yourself going deeper into your heart, anchoring into your heart, becoming clearer and clearer. The mother has been anchoring this gift of her clarity so that we can see and perceive and understand what's transpiring over the last couple of months. So breathe in that blue topaz and anchor into your heart. Now breathe in the mother's gift of purity, that soft white light that fades into the clear, sheer energy, into that purity, and bring it into your heart and go deeper. Deeper than you've ever gone. With this expansion of energy, you are fully capable of going deeper, and you are safe and protected and accompanied not only by the Mother and the Archangels, the Ascended Masters, the Council of Love, the Company of Heaven. Now feel yourself drifting as we prepare to engage and receive and allow the tsunami of love to enter us. Go down to the beach, to your favorite ocean. It's a bright, sunny day. Go down to the water's edge and feel the warmth and the coolness of the sand in your feet, between your toes. Each of us will choose a different place to stand as we anchor and receive the tsunami. So while you're standing at the water's edge, you decide whether you want to simply stand there or go ankle deep or knee deep or chest deep. But it's where you're comfortable. And as you repeat this meditation, where you stand may be different. Many of us will go to the deepest parts of the ocean, to the Mariana Trench, where we can feel the subtle shifts in energy, where we can begin to perceive the tectonic plates of love beginning to shift as that tsunami of love begins to rise up and come down and begin to move as swift currents into our very being. So position yourself. Now, the guidance of the mother is for us to see ourselves as a clear screen. So see and feel your entire energy field, not merely your physical form, but your etheric bodies, your causal bodies, mental, emotional, all the way out. And these days, all of us with these expansions are really big. So see yourself shifting from your sweet self into this wonderful sheer screen of energy. The screen is a form of the grid. It's your grid. So see that shift of this very fine screen. And make sure your feet are firmly anchored in the coral and the sand and the seaweed in the depths of the ocean. And breathe. Breathe blue. Breathe the mother's blue. And thank yourself for being here at this incredible time. Feel the currents, the gentle waves begin to penetrate you, to flow through you from the front of your body to the back. Now understand that none of us are doing this exercise, this undertaking alone. We are doing it as a form of unity and community. So as you begin to feel this flow, put out your hands and feel your neighbor, your friend, your beloved, Archangel Michael, Gabrielle, the mother, take your hand as we encircle all of Gaia, as we anchor, as way showers, as pillars, as gatekeepers, as light workers, as love holders, as we together, hand in hand in hand, begin to receive and anchor this energy of the mother's tsunami of love. So take a moment and feel whose hand you're holding. And again, this may change every time you do this meditation, which could become part of your daily ritual. And breathe. Now feel that current of love, of bliss, of ecstasy, of sweetness, of gentleness, the strongest and the gentlest, flowing through you, penetrating you, enfolding you, engulfing you, washing away any debris, any flotsam, jetsam, any particles of sand or dirt, false grids, false beliefs, issues, vasanas, any debris that has ever gathered on you is being washed away through the front, out of the back, all your meridians, all your chakras. Let it go. And all you can feel, all you are, is this magnificent love. It's the love of one. It's the essence of who you are. And as we do this, we raise and we anchor to complete our ascension process, to anchor love on Nova Earth, to go to a higher octave, to a new state of being. Feel the energy pass through you. Not so strong that the current knocks you over. Get used to it, accommodate it more and more. And know that you will do this every day. Now anchor that energy. Anchor that energy deep within you. Now come back. Come back out of the water. Find yourself again, the edge of the shore, carrying the love. You are the tsunami. And you will carry this throughout your day, throughout the weeks ahead. And you will come back and build this as you ride, as you play with the dolphins and whales, this wonderful tsunami of love. Knowing how deeply you are loved, how deeply the mother loves you, that this is her gift to us right now. This is what we've waited for. And so we begin together, hand in hand in hand. And when you're ready, anchor in your body and go about your busy day, knowing and carrying the tsunami of love. Go in peace.
So let's jump right in. Okay, so there's with the mother's tsunami of love, she had us go into the ocean and into the water. And the water is a symbol of the mother and of the forgiveness of everything, acceptance of everything that we've been through. So it's really literally that meditation is all about us anchoring peace within everything. So I have posted it on my website and I'll post it when I post this Zoom. So you can, if you're interested in doing it every day or, when you think about it, yeah, it'll be there for you. And just be aware that it will drive up old issues for the clarity. So just as a disclaimer there. Okay, so let's get to Ashira now. And yeah, let's just start with the prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, all angels and archangels, ascended masters, beloved saints, enlightened beings, star brothers and sisters, Gaia and the beings around the council fire, council of love, council that serves our guides and guardians. We are your children and servants. We pray today for love in the balance, hope and joy, the two things in the universe, love and being worthy, and they are inseparable for ourselves, family, friends, and co-workers, for all we intermingle with during the day, for that healing of self and our beloved collective, for the Divine Mother's purity, clarity, and her tsunami of love, for sacred purpose, for the projects we interact with, for consensus, democracy, gender equality, lifting all of us into the topaz box, for peace and harmony on Gaia. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay, so now Ashira goes into a little bit about the tsunami of love here. And it's interesting how he describes it. So He talks about getting comfortable, relaxing. If there's any anxiety or agitation, disappointment, disillusionment, aches or pains, just for this time, let's let it go as you sink into the cushion or of your chair or the floor or the bed, wherever you are sitting, and feel as if your crown is wide open and all the energy from above is just sinking in like water down a drain into your heart. And then he says, let's take 3 deep breaths of the mother's blue, the blue diamond, the blue of the Atlantic Ocean, deeper, deeper, the blue of brilliant sapphire. Okay, and the breathing is super important now. So even if you're doing any of the meditations, do the deep breathing, and it really helps with the letting go. Feel your shoulders coming down, your jaw relaxing. Give yourself the gift of this time because you so deserve it. And here's where he says there are only 2 things in the universe: love and being worthy, and they are inseparable. So, and you can see I've put the colors, the blue and the yellow and the green. And Archangel Michael brought this up as well. He said, we can't have love without truth and truth without love. So in that, that's inseparable. It's the mother energy and the father energy and the oneness. So take a nice deep breath of love and feel yourself, whether it's down at the ocean or sitting in a chair or walking your dog. Feel yourself turning into a screen, like the screen you have on your windows to keep the mosquitoes out. A very fine screen, because that's what we are. We are an energetic grid. And feel this beautiful, warm, pure love, this blue water love of the mother passing through you, filling you with ecstasy, with bliss, with love, and washing away any debris, any concern, anything that is not of wholeness. So just like she said in the meditation, it's like we're remembering that we're an energetic grid, and that the mother's love is just washing away everything that's not of love. Feel that sense of relief as you are bathed in the mother's water of love and her tsunami of love. Feel it pass right through you from your front to your back, catching all the debris, every stray grain of sand, every hurt, every injury, every disappointment. We are ready, and it is time. It's time for you, for me, for us, for humanity to receive in the fullness this gift of love. Relax one more time, feel that wave pass through you and let it be. So in this past week, I felt like getting to the point of just accepting the past as it is, really deeply accepting it, and having no resistance to any of the old feelings. And my daughter told me this really funny thing today. She said, it's something through AA, I think. And she said, if we're holding on to the past or too much in the future, it's not healthy for the now. And she had kind of a funny remark. She said, we're pissing all over ourselves. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because we really want to stay in the now, not in the past, and not too much in the future, like holding the highest vision for the future, but really in the now. And the ability to be in the now at peace is when we've let go of all the debris from the past. So yeah, I was like, I will never forget that little saying. Okay, so here's Ashira. He says, greetings, I am Ashira, commander of the unified forces of the outer galaxies. Welcome, my beloved friends, and thank you. I'm glad to be back and speaking with you. It is not only humanity and Gaia and all the plants and animals, the kingdoms that are receiving this tsunami. Such a massive energy cannot pass through your field, through your universe, through your solar system, through your galaxy, and not also be felt by us. Is it in exactly the same way? No, because we are at a different vibratory frequency, but we are enjoying it. Yes. My beloved friends, I encourage you to do the same. Set aside your worries, your woes, your concerns, the ifs, the ands, the buts, and simply enjoy it. The gifts from above are plentiful and you receive them every day, but you're not aware of all the gifts you receive, and it is important. Indeed, it is critical that you're aware of this gift and receive it with an open heart. Now, we have asked humanity and those of Inlight Radio to submit their questions. Where do you wish to begin? So in the last show, there was a call out to everyone who was listening if they wanted to write in some questions. And Susie says, welcome, Ashira. Many thanks for returning to address questions directly from our listeners. I have to say that not all the questions have been friendly, and it's had a surprising effect on me to experience how others might perceive the current situation. So what the tsunami does, it drives up everything that's not working. So it's no wonder that some of the questions are not friendly. Having said that, though, I will add that most messages come with a big open-hearted welcome. People express their desire for friendship to develop, and there are even offers to join the galactic forces and be a Federation citizen with inquiries as to how to go about it. I think people really want to know that they're recognized individually and that they are being heard. There are invitations to party and inquiries about how soon we can meet. There's been lots of love expressed and appreciation for all you do on behalf of humanity, and our listeners are appreciating your presence on the show. I certainly am. Have you got any comments about all that before I launch into questions? And Ashira says, yes. First of all, it is my honor, my pleasure, and even my duty to reach out and to speak to each of you, to share not only our perspectives, our experiences, our understandings, our position in this incredible unfoldment of ascension, of movement to the higher realms, what our role is in that, but also to simply have the opportunity to extend our hands and our hearts, not only in friendship, but in kinship. If we had wished, we would not tell you about how many of our intergalactic and galactic troops are on the ground. We would not share and begin to share technology that is becoming rapidly available to you. We would not share how to spot us or how we live. All this is done in the way of forming deep and loving relationships. We do not simply wish to be a traveling envoy to be invited or welcomed to Earth in stilted, uncomfortable circumstances. We have not hung around for hundreds of years to simply be strangers. Now I know some of that anger, and trust me, Suzanne, I have read all of the questions. And so Susie says, okay, good. And Ashira says, so let us, before we really start, address some of these frustrations. Basically, can we abbreviate it and say it comes like this? Where the hell are you and why aren't you doing more? And Susie says, oh yeah, I don't want to say that. And Ashira says, I'm saying it for you. Do you think that we don't know your thoughts, your feelings? No, we don't intrude. You are screaming at us and we can hear you. Do you ever think that we have ever said to humanity, where the hell are you and why don't you do something? Well, we haven't. At one point in our evolution, we may have. So they've jumped up into a much higher frequency where they don't they don't have the same anger that we do. We don't feel anger. We don't feel the same disturbing frequencies, vibrations, emotions, whatever you call it, that you do. Now, are there times when I can say to you that our patience collectively and individually is tired or is tried? Don't forget, we all have family on Earth that we are watching over, that we are anxious to reunite with, but we are never going to do two things. One is we're never going to interfere or override the mother's plan. That would result in our own annihilation of our own souls. We won't do it. But the other is we will never create situations that will result in conflict or fear. That is why we have been so, can we say, prudent. Now, prudent is the ability to stand back and observe everything. It's refined balance. So that's what he's talking about there, about how and where and when we have been showing up. We have developed so many workarounds that you would think we are the workaround specialists, but we aren't. But I might say humanity is very good at workarounds. And yes, in maintaining some of the collective illusion. So the more we let go of all the old stuff, the better for everything. We are as anxious as you to come together in celebration and unity together. This is not merely a trade commission or a diplomatic mission. This is us waiting for a family reunion. Now, are things more And now, are there things, more showy things do? Yes, but we are being very vigilant not to interfere with the massive spiritual, quantum, physical, emotional, mental jump that humanity, that each of you is taking. So if we just basically lay the lot on the table, then you might take it and run, but you may not be learning everything you can about your own ability to create. So we are eager. So are we eager, and have we actually been co-creating with you? Yes. And one of the best examples are these shows. So we know the angst, we know the anger, we understand, and we are building bridges as fast as possible. And we're asking that you be building your bridges as fast as possible. Susie says, beautiful. I really appreciate you speaking to that, because it's making me massively uncomfortable to feel that. And so thank you for addressing it. Let's go on to questions. And Susie says, how do you determine if an individual or group is ready and willing to make contact? And Ashira says, well, with individuals, it is very simple, because we can scan your energy field and we know a couple of things. One, is there any fear frequency that will be destructive or detrimental to your physical or mental or emotional being to have contact with us? A scanning of an individual is very simple. The other thing is, what will you do with the information once you have contact? And the third, which we've been working on a great deal, particularly through our communications project, is your vibration, the individual's vibration. And this is true for the group as well. But is the individual's vibration going to be detrimental to us? So for example, we would not be at this point engaging with those who have enormous fears or concerns or control agendas. Now that doesn't mean as the collective and as we move forward, because you are at that tipping point, that those people will not be affected and see, because we are not going to remain hidden. We have had invisibility shields up for hundreds of years, but those are about to be removed. Susie says, woo. And Ashira says, yes, it's time. Now, how do we discern a group? It is much the same way. Okay, now remember that time is, the shields are to be removed, but time still is a factor here. So we're in that moment of soon. So the more we release the old systems, the faster that we can be in that family reunion. Okay, so now how do we discern a group? It is much the same way. So when there are gatherings or small groups, and it doesn't matter whether it is a group of 5 or a group of 500, again, that scanning is done. And those who have the fear or the lower vibration stand out as if they are a brilliant red on the scan of the group. Most groups come through as a rainbow. Now, we love the color red, so that is actually the color of Gaia. Do not get us wrong, but that is an indicator when we're looking at groups that there is a dissident. Let us put it that way. Again, it is for the group. Would it be for their highest good to have contact with us? Now, there are groups, by the way, that have had contact with us several times or many times, and that they have not remembered. Similarly, there are many of you who come either as individuals or even as small groups who come to work or to be visiting on board various ships at night and do not remember. It doesn't mean that you aren't doing it. And Susie says, right, well, that brings up questions. What is the purpose of us not remembering those visits? And also, how do we raise our vibration? I know the answer is love, but I'm just going to ask it. How do we raise our vibration to make it high enough so that it is not damaging to you? And Ashira says, you have been raising your vibrations and you have been doing, I'll use the term stellar job. You've been doing star work. You've been doing galactic work, and your vibrations have been raised so significantly, particularly in the last year. There was much disarray around the time of, can we say, intended ascension? But as that got a little further, there was recognition on the part of most light workers and many human beings, increasingly every day, that there was work to be done, and that work has been diligent on an individual basis and on a collective basis. Now, when you've been talking about the tsunami of love, you've been talking about a lot of the old issues that are coming to the forefront, whether they are emotional or physical, it matters not, but they're coming to the forefront. And in that coming to the forefront is actually a very large release and a buoyancy in your frequency. So you are doing it, so don't worry about that. Because of our presence upon the planet, we would not have put now there are about an extra million boots on the ground, and that would not have been possible a couple of years ago. The vibration was too variable and consistent for us to truly be what we would call permanently stationed upon the ground. It took an exceptional person to basically be on permanent assignment. Now we still, out of that million, have about 200,000 that are back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's to the ships. But this would not even have been possible if your vibration as a collective had not been increasing. Now, I'll tell you, while we work and try and bathe the planet in pink, and yes, we are continuing to do that, we are not specifically putting boots on the ground because this is a saying you all understand that we are not putting them in, say, war-torn places. We are putting them in more peaceful communities, rural communities, for arrival and then migration to the more urban centers, but they're not being put in ragged conditions. And Susie says, right, are these the ones who will be doing first contact with us? Ashira, they already are, but no, there is first contact. And yes, when we have been speaking with you, we have said, look on the ground, look at your neighbors, look at the stranger buying food, look at the treetops, look at the sky. Now we have been adding look at the treetops because many of our smaller ships are hovering right there, easily spotted. And Susie says, I've been seeing colored spaces in the air in the treetops around my yard. And she's wondering if that's the ships. And Ashira says, yes. Ashira says, so we are almost there, and I will make you a promise. Don't give up on us. We won't give up on you. Susie says, oh, I'm never giving up. And Ashira says, no, I mean you collectively. Suzanne Maresca, you have never given up. Susie says, thanks. And Ashira says, I do talk to you. And Susie says, yes, yes, I feel it. It's wonderful. So grateful for that too. And it's becoming easier since we've started doing these shows together. I'm really grateful. Okay. And I have to admit, it is getting easier. The telepathy is getting easier with the other side. I've noticed that since we've been doing these shows. Okay. And then Susie asks, okay, so if you could just let our listeners know that you don't necessarily need names and addresses in order to know who is open to meet you and who isn't. And Ashira says, I don't need names and addresses. We have a very good tracking systems. What we track, well, there are two things actually. We do the scanning of the individual. Think of it this way. You look like a pinprick, a bright light on the grid. And while we are at it, so do your houses, your apartments, your office buildings. It is phenomenal how when the love, the acceptance, the work, the energy, not saying that there's never any trauma or tribulation. Yes, there is, but you are learning to deal with this and it shows up. We don't need a GPS. We have one installed already. And Susie says, all right, I think that will be good news for many. I've had people write in, as you know, with this is my address and you're welcome to come and sit on the porch and have a drink and whatever else and be social. And Ashira says, we have received, and particularly our communications project has received all these letters. Beautiful, says Susie. Some have written in that they might find it easier to connect with Star Family or to prepare for meeting if they had the name and story of some of your crew, kind of like having a pen pal to make it easier to become familiar with particular frequency and establish a stable connection. Is that possible? And Ashira says it is, and this is how I will guide you to do it. Now I tell you, my forte is to work with the fleet, but I have been known to meditate from time to time. What I ask of you to do is to anchor in your heart. We are anchored in our hearts. Our mental capacities, our emotional capacities, yes, we know emotion, are highly developed. Now notice that I say highly developed, not superior, just more developed, so you would never think of us in that way. We do not want to be thought of as having superior capacities. So I will tell you how we would do it. Anchor in your heart, go down to your halion, your star chakra at the base of your ribs. So that's the one right under the heart chakra. You have been working with this with me, with all of us over the past couple of months. Sit as if you are sitting in your heart and sitting in your halion, and ask for one star family mentor. Now, the names that come to you may be sounding very foreign because our traditions, our cultures, our names, there are some similarities, but there are many differences. And very often when we give you the name, and there are many mentors lined up, is that they will give it to you phonetically so that in every language around the world, it can be understood in your language. So we are willing to do that much. So sit, receive the name, immediately write it down. And why I'm saying this, because you are bringing it into your physical reality. You have mentioned like a pen pal. Well, it is much more than that. And then begin the conversation. It will be primarily telepathic. You say, well, what if I'm not telepathic? And he says, my dear friends, you are all telepathic. Archangel Michael, Sanat Kumara, who we bow to, the Divine Mother, who we bow to, we serve, they have told you, you have brought your mastery to the planet for this time. You are not strangers to us. Our ties, our relationships have been intact for thousands of years. We know you and you know us. So telepathy is one of those talents, one of those capacities. Perhaps you haven't truly been working with it yet, but I'm suggesting to each and every one of you, it is time. So allow your mentor, who is part of your family, to begin to telepathically have conversation. Now, do not ignore the rest of your life. Perhaps it is like a telephone or a Skype call that you wish to set 15 or 20 minutes a day, set aside 15 or 20 minutes a day to have a conversation with your mentor. We are beyond eager to do this, so let us begin. Then, if you are courteous and patient enough to invite me back, and we have some to call in, we will share notes on who is getting what. There will be many, many messages and insights and adventures to report. That's wonderful. Could you share, so this is Susie now, was your ascension process at all similar to ours? And Ashira says, no, well, somewhat, and it depends on what you're thinking of as ascension process. You are doing it fully physical from the density. Yes, it has basically disappeared from the density of a dimension that became, and this is where the trouble began. Your dimension became so warped, and I don't mean warped speed, I mean warped, uneven, jaded, that your, what you have called the third dimension, was actually operating outside of the 12 dimensions of human existence. So think of it as the clean third dimension. I have no other way except to express it that way. The body of the clean third dimension had a cancerous, poisonous cyst called the old third. And so that had need and is being cleansed, repaired, renewed, rejuvenated. And from that reality, you have jumped into the clean third. You've already moved up to the fifth, and you're continuing to move up. We never did that, not while assuming form. We have learned in many ways. We did it the hard way by relinquishing body, reincarnating, relinquishing body, ascending as a planetary collective, and evolution to the higher realms. So what you're doing is fabulously unique, marvelous. That is one of the reasons we are not just here to observe, we are here to learn, we are here to support, we are here to cheer you on. And then as you do it, this method, this ability, this model can be replicated throughout the multiverse. Susie says, right. So in that way, we have a great deal to offer you, our star family. I mean, I'm sure there's a number of humans, people that have written in and they're wondering, well, what could we possibly do for you? And that exactly puts the finger on it to say, we are having an experience that nobody else has. And Ashira says, you're having an experience that no one else has ever had. You are part of the unfoldment and a very unique element in the unfoldment of the mother's plan. Our time frames have been longer than yours because you have tended to think in terms of human life and existence, which is actually is very brief and faulty. But that is another conversation. But when you have come, we have had an agreement that we would come and support you, much like your guides, your guardian angels, except we are galactics and intergalactics. We are here to support you. What you can do for us is be the truth of who you are. You are the masters. This isn't just some ragtag group from the far reaches of the multiverse that decided to come together. You are the chosen of the mother. You are the creators. You are the benefactors of Gaia. You are the ones that have said, I will not allow her to be killed. I will not allow her to be maimed and destroyed. We hear your cries, whether it is over nuclear waste in the oceans or fracking or chemtrails, and we are working with you, yes, unseen, to clean that up. But you are the ones that have come to rebuild and create Nova Earth. That is the gift that you are giving us. And Susie says, well, that's wonderful. I'm happy to be giving that gift and also looking greatly forward to, as many are, to having a resolution for all our body aches and pains and illness and discomfort and aging. You know, I'm kind of looking for a time frame. Could we look forward to that like this year? And Ashira said, time frames, that elusive subject. I will not make a comment, but I will say that you have the technology, the equipment, the chambers, certainly within this year. So, the time thing is odd. I feel like we're not quite there yet with the letting go. So we're getting close, but there's just a little more to go. So Susie says, I love to hear that. Wonderful. That's a load off. And also the money situation for many is getting very troubling. Would be an easy word for it, but looking forward, well, we're all looking forward to all the changes to take place, in our political system. We just want to get on with doing the love and unity thing. There's not a lot of evidence of that in the mainstream media and what's happening around the world. It just seems to be all disillusion and chaos at this point. And I'm personally looking forward to having a relaxing vacation. And Ashira says, declare it, declare it, declare it. Now, one of the things that is going on right now is that your collective, just like you have said, old injuries are coming back for clearing. Many of the old paradigms that were very emotionally traumatic are also returning so that it can be cleared. Not that it has to be lived through again, but simply that it can be released. So know the power of your individual and collective declaration. As a species and as individuals, you have not fully grasped the power of no and the power of yes. No to the mayhem, yes to what you so richly deserve. And Susie says, love. It's all about love. And Ashira says, love, and love can be a fresh salad. No, I don't have any recipes, but it can be a fresh salad or a fresh packet of money. Feel it, put it in your hands, claim it, and it is yours. So it's us really believing as well in all of this happening. And food is a big piece of it. Eating the green is a big piece of our ascension, as is the breathing, as is the feeling love and being love and releasing all the old hatred and resistance around the past. And Susie says, all right, that's wonderful. And she's saying how so we have 3 minutes left. This could be a bit tricky and we might have to spell it, but how does one say I love you in one of the languages you use? Is there an easy one? And Ashira says, I'm sending it to you telepathically. I'm sending it to all of you. Susie says, all right, I have to be with that some more. And Ashira said, there's another way. It is called I love you. Susie says, all right, I love you. It can be in any language because it is all the same. Susie said, it's the energy of it. Wonderful. Ashira says, it is the energy. Susie says, all right, so I guess one more quickie, maybe. The plans for a few folks to have a real-time visit on the Neptune fell through back in 2012, I believe. And the question is, has enough shifted since then to try a similar exercise now? Or are we close enough to contact to not even have that be necessary? Ashira says, you are close enough to contact to not worry about it. Susie says, awesome. And Ashira says, we would not take a risk at this juncture with so many nations on full alert that we would risk taking a large group on board ship. We welcome you one by one to come and visit. When you are lying down to go to sleep, simply say, I want to remember. And Susie says, is there anything you would like to say in closing? And are you willing to come back? And Ashira says, I'm more than willing to come back. These conversations are encouragement, not only to you, but to all of us. Communication is the key. And the more that we are communicating, even if there's only a few thousand, it is anchored in the air that we are talking, and every government on earth knows it. Susie says, good, yay, beautiful. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. And I look forward to our next conversation. Ashira says, so do we. Go with our love and go with the power of no. Farewell, dear hearts. Farewell. So it's interesting that he says, when you're lying down to sleep, just simply say, I want to remember. And that's just remembering who we truly are, the truth of who we truly are. Okay, so let's jump out of this. There we go. Oh, I'm running out of power. Okay, there we go. And we have a new member. Hi. Nice to see you. Thanks for jumping in.
Kathleen, that was so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. That's so good you could join us. Where are you located?
Right now I'm in Solana Beach.
Where's that?
It's by San Diego.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good.
So much going on here in Encinitas. A lot of new biohacking tech companies are coming over here.
Great.
Biotech hacking companies? Is that what you said?
Biohacking,
What is that?
like reverse aging, quantum healing.
Very good. I'm all for that. Isn't that interesting?
Mhm.
Very.
Okay, well, that fits right in with that channeling. That's good that you've given us hope.
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for holding space. It was really beautiful.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, you can go back. There's a few that we've done. Did you find this through the golden age of Gaia?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So there's other Zooms that you can go back and listen to. They're listed on my site, which is called voiceoffreedom.ca. Yeah. But what I'll do is I'll put links when I put this Zoom up for others to watch. I'll put links so that you can find them if you like.
There's also all the Heavenly Blessings recordings. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of galactic info.
Perfect. I'm like the test rabbit for all of this. And I have a huge group in Asia of young tech entrepreneurs and different families that are looking to educate their posterity on this. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
Very welcome. If you go onto the blog on the left-hand sidebar, 2 down, there's the downloads page. There's lots of books there freely available on what's happening.
Oh,
You see it?
yeah.
Left-hand sidebar download page. Should be right under the hope chest.
That's a lot of books. Wow.
Yeah, basic library. Yeah. So
Where are you both located?
In Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh my gosh, no way. It's so funny because we literally just got a huge land grant of this pristine property. And we're thinking about going there in like a week or two to really work out a circuitry healing center and an eco village. And that might be something that we could consult you on,
Sure.
and how to implement the law of love and everything into the community.
I know anything about it.
Beautiful. Wow. So do you know whereabouts is it in British Columbia, the land?
It's like a very rural area. I will get you the exact pinpoints. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but the land and the water is just pristine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Nice.
Mhm,
Oh, that's
mhm.
so exciting. Wow.
Very nice.
Came on this call. This is what we've all been waiting for, to hear things like this.
Mhm.
I would love to know, what are you doing outside of holding these educational spaces for essentially what you love the most for yourself too?
Mhm. Well, Steve mostly does lots and lots of writing on the Golden Age of Gaia, and I have my own website, but I also do readings. So I'm out in the community doing readings, and I'll often go into the places of chaos to be with the women, that are really in disarray, and do readings with them, help bring the light into, like, the center of our city, Vancouver, has a very high overdose issue crisis. So I will go there and do readings with the women there. And then I also have a little business on the side where I make goods, and I put them in new stores that are more like consignment stores, local goods, where they sell local goods, anchoring that love, in the communities, the making of, things locally. Mhm.
The blog itself, Akasha, is the request that we've had is to remain independent and independent news gatherers and interpreters of channeled messages. So consequently, we don't join a lot of things or try to bring people into something we have going on. We're strictly news gathering and reporting and creating the philosophy behind building Nova Earth, a world that works for everyone. So that's our mission, to do that, to create the philosophy behind it. Yeah. Yes. So I don't know if we can help you with, say, specific things like advice on legal things. I don't really have any knowledge myself. I don't think, do you?
It's so funny. The word legal came up for you. I was thinking about like, we need to get you a Creative Commons license and get you like this different trademarks for all these different terms that you're putting out there. And here you're telling me like thinking about the same exact thing. But at the same.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
We were down in San Diego in 2014.
The beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very nice.
But we're more the I've been studying universal law. So that's universal laws help a community run very smoothly. That the news system from the higher realms. Mm-hmm. And mm-hmm. So I think that's what will be coming more and more into all the different systems that are working. It's universal laws and divine qualities and understandings of the dimensions. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Understood.
Well, dear, I'm going to have to go myself.
Okay, it's that time.
Come again, Akasha.
Mhm.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next time.
Mhm. Wow, that was interesting, eh?
Yes, that was interesting.
And she's wanting to do a big project and probably in the middle of British Columbia somewhere, you know? Mhm. Wow.
Be interesting if she contacts you again.
Oh yeah, I feel like she might show up. I don't know. We'll see. I'll put in the page with all the Zoom so she can go in and watch some of them. I wonder how she found the golden age of Gaia. Just fingers do the walking, I guess.
I've never figured out how I found it.
That's what happened to me. I was just like, my fingers were doing the walking on the.
Me either. I just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I found it.
Yeah, so guided. So guided. Well, you know what? It's really good that she actually came because, and like with the tsunami, don't be alarmed if it brings up all kinds of old stuff. Just
I went deep, I'll tell you that.
yeah,
I think I've gone that deep in a
yeah.
for a
Medita-
long time.
Exactly. Okay, so like I got this really big cold sore. And that I used to get these all the time. I haven't had one for a long time. They're super painful. And it's come up and it's brought up all kinds of gunk. So yeah, we're doing a deep cleanse. And there's no accident that we're working with we're reviewing this information. Mhm.
There's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
know.
But the most important part is to just let go of the stuff because our bodies were not meant to have any kind of physical pain. And then so they want us to get the belief systems that are underneath it. Mhm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And they're insidious. They're so hard to get at because we don't even realize we're thinking of. They're just there. Mhm.
Well, that's why we get the little reminders. That's why I saw that little boy yesterday in the grocery store. I
Yeah.
know it was a reminder to me.
Yeah, to live in the now, right?
I know,
Yeah.
get the little reminders because he was just such a sweet little boy. It's just,
Yeah, living in the love in the now.
yeah,
But we find it difficult because we're still in the past or we're too much in the future. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it was so funny what my daughter said. It's something about holding on, like living in the past, but or if we've got one foot in the past and one foot in the future, we're pissing all over the now. That's what it was. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So we just got to be like both feet firmly anchored in the now. Mhm. Not anchored in the past or the future.
and that's why your granddaughter is there to help
Yeah.
you. And that's why whenever we go out, I don't know how many little kids we see. I
Mhm.
mean, they're so sweet.
Yeah.
I can't, it's just wonderful just to see their little smiling faces and the joy. And whenever we've been watching a lot of tennis and they
Mhm.
fan the crowds and you see the sweetest little kids. And it's like they're just so sweet because they're just so joyous,
Yeah.
so sweet and just so joyous. It just makes you feel so good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was out with Amelia on Tuesday walking with her. It was just me and her. And she was being fussy. She was teething. Whoa. Yeah, they're popping out through the two lower ones are popping out. And she was fussy. And we had got quite far. And so she didn't want to sit in her stroller. She wanted me to carry her and me push the stroller. Now that's quite a feat. And I was getting tired. And all of a sudden I heard, ask for help. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And so I did. And somehow they calmed her down from the other side. I had the most lovely walk back. I got to sit on a bench and look out at the ocean for a while. And before we went back up to the apartment, it was amazing. I was in tears by the end of it because it was just so lovely. So that's a key too. Like if you feel like the old stuff being overwhelming coming up, just ask for help because they are right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they'll help in miraculous ways. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So sweet.
Mhm.
I think I'm finally getting over my problem sleeping. So
Oh.
hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with some of this stuff that we're all dealing with.
Well, the sleeping thing might have been part of it.
I'm
That
sure.
that might have been driven up for you to get through that somehow.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
Well, that, it's been happening since where for a month or so now.
Even a little bit longer than that, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's how long we've been doing this galactic channelings. So they might have been driving it up for you to let it go.
Oh,
It was the end of July.
Yeah. That's how long we've been doing working with Ashira.
oh,
So he's persistent too. Like me and him telepathy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He's very persistent.
so what you're saying is I could be getting rid of this stuff without really having to have it come into my conscious mind.
Yeah. Well, you've been not sleeping.
Right. But yeah. But
Yeah.
when I'm awake in this, I don't think I'm thinking about anything in particular. It's, I don't remember it being anything in particular.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. It's like they'll create us feeling uncomfortable, hoping that we're going to ask and go deeper. And you did get deeper. Whoops. You did get deeper. Because you've learned about the choking, the drowning, it's been connected to things, and you just had to go through it. Like this might have been lifetimes where it was hundreds of years. You've managed to get through it in a month or so.
oh, that's
Yeah. Yeah, like we're moving pretty quick, depending, like if you look at the past, it's thousands of years. We're moving fast through this old stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like there isn't a lot more for me to have to get rid of. So I don't know.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't carry any physical pain.
Occasionally I have problems with my back and stuff like that, but all the time physical pain, no. Mm-mm.
Good. That's an indicator, because our bodies are not meant to have any kind of pain. And the two things he's been really focusing on, or that I've noticed, is the food, like eating more green, more
Yeah.
more veggies and fruit and grains, less like the heavy stuff, less processed food, and then the breathing. Like he's brought up the food a few times, and it's sometimes I'll run videos in the back of Facebook, and the strangest things pop up that are relevant. But this woman in Florida has been growing food in her backyard, beautiful food, and eating it and juicing it. She's 70 years old. She looks 40. Yeah. And that's all she eats is the stuff that she grows, and she juices it, and some grains. And her husband is diabetic and on pharmaceuticals, and wished that he had adopted her program. And seriously, she looks like she's 40 and she's 70.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's all fresh food. And she did really looked amazing. So that's the first time I've actually seen that, like that somebody looks that good. And they're explaining how they do it. So that Ashira been talking about the food and the breathing and being loved, really being loved. Just saying, I had this conversation with him. Like, I'm not in a relationship and I don't particularly want a relationship right now. It's a lot of work. And I'm really busy. And then with the new granddaughter and everything. But he's coaching me on saying, I can say I love you to men, but as a sister. Not because I get a interest, and but I'm like, no, don't want that right now. I'm too busy. And then, but to say, be able to flow, so not resist the love, but flow it like a sister.
Good.
Not, yeah. So that was that just came because I didn't know how to do it. Because I'm just like, I'll just put my shields up kind of. And I don't really know how to communicate. I love you, but not that way.
Well, it could also be that you have been distorting some of their intentions because of what you were dealing with.
What I've been through.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so now you might be able to go through and see these people as wanting to be part of your life or be friends with you or something like that without it being intimate.
Yeah, exactly. So my boundaries are firm.
Right.
And I'm flowing love, but I'm your sister. I'm like your sister. Yeah. Yeah. Because
That's
it's been,
cool.
it's hard to be friends. Like, I just want everybody to be friends. I want to be friends with everyone.
Sure.
But then some of the guys will take it a different way and they want more. And I'm like, no, not right now. I just want to be, I just want to be like your sister. And then that puts me in that place where I can be friends. Friends.
Well, are these acquaintances or people that you run into a lot, or how are you meeting these people?
They're acquaintances, they're good friends. Yeah,
Oh, see.
yeah. But I just don't know I don't know how to say no. Like I'm really good at saying no, and they don't get it. And I'm like, no means no. Like, he's talking. Even Ashira was like, the power of no. But it's just like, yeah, I just have too much on my plate. My little business has exploded. I spent 14 hours sewing on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I think that what's going on is these men are not really seeing or hearing you.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking of fantasies or past life relationships or something. But if you take them and you break them out of that trance
Mm-hmm.
and say, look, I understand what you want. I'm not interested in that. But if you want to talk to me and be friends, I can do that. Otherwise, there isn't much we can do.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So,
Because
you
I
know,
don't mind talking to people. I love talking to people. I think that's the way we anchor this love stuff on the planet.
but now that you're seen as I get the vibration from you that you do exude a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm thinking that these men that come around simply have not had your kind of love before, so they don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true too. That's
So, so what you need to do is be careful what you say and see their reactions. You have to really see their reactions to figure out what's going on.
okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I forget. I always forget that we're angelic and we're just beaming this love from the higher realm that they're not used to.
Yeah.
They don't understand,
Mm.
but one of the things you are doing is educating them.
Yes, yes, to respect the respect for women too, because that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of their biggest missions, the gender equality and everyone being able to be friendly. Mhm.
And if you need to sit them down and tell them, hey, you know, you're not treating me as a woman who's entitled to
Respect.
respect. Yes.
It's basically, yeah.
You need to be able to also tell these guys, look, you're not being respectful. So we can talk, but if you're going to continue to be like this with me, then I have to discontinue our friendship or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, well, hopefully I can get through. I'm pretty good at getting through them, but it's like some of them, yeah, it's a practice. It's
Well,
like,
it's new for them too, because they probably haven't seen you in that light before. And when
Mhm.
the light bulb goes on, they're feeling differently about you than
Mhm,
they did before.
mhm,
Um, and the love that you emanate, they don't, it's such a wonderful love. They don't understand what it is,
mhm,
and they just assume it's sexual,
mhm. Yeah.
but they don't understand what it is.
Now, you don't have to explain any of that to them.
Right.
That is not your problem.
Mhm,
If they don't want to conform to what you want to treat to be and for them to treat you as, then you just have to cut off the relationship.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and that's not of the higher realms. That's the weird part because we're all here to get along. So I, mhm, yeah. So it's a real fine line we're learning to walk.
Well, it's also that you're educating them.
Mhm,
You're teaching them. Some of this is because they've never experienced this before. But in addition, you're helping them to understand how to treat women and
Right.
how to be what's the word?
Respectful and
Respectful.
right, basically.
uh-huh.
So there's a lot there. There's a
Yeah.
lot there. And I think that you're still integrating this too.
I am because it's me too. I've got the where it's okay for them to treat me like that.
Yeah.
I grew up with, so, and that's what this is on my mouth. It's the lack of self-worth. And so, and that's the power under system where it's okay for that to happen. And that's the type of relationships I've been in. Like I asked for that.
Yeah.
I volunteered to go in again and experience that.
We'll talk about asking for help.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
Archangel Gabrielle is right there. The minute you ask for her, she'll be right there to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's remembering in the moment.
Well, I understand,
Mhm.
but she'll definitely be there to help you. I know.
Well, that's what this integration is all about, learning how to be what you want to be and also be able to tell them this is how I am or show them
Mhm,
how I am, and I'm different than I used to be.
mhm.
Because a lot of them may not realize the difference.
Is that boundaries?
It's boundaries, yeah, because even right from the start, when I was little, boundaries were crossed. And then when that happens, you don't even know what they are. I had no idea what boundaries were. I think I was in almost my 50s when I started to get boundaries. Mhm. And then that also is me coming into balance within, because if I'm in balance within, like attracts like. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what the reflection that I will see. Mhm.
Well, you also can cultivate more girlfriends so that you can feel some of the uh, feel yourself and develop yourself so that it's away from men. It's not doesn't have anything to do with men,
Mhm.
but it's a way for you to be you. And when you develop these relationships with other women, um, that gives you an opportunity to see how they are and for them to react to you in a way that's non-threatening.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened when my little society formed. Called I have a little society called A Door to Everything. It's all women. When
Yeah.
we get together, it's not like we're doing any big projects at all. It's us talking and them explaining what's happening around them. It's like it's a group like we have on Fridays, and we're discussing things and letting go, and it's an incredible little group. And we've often thought, what the heck are we doing? We're not really doing anything. I'm the one that goes into the recovery centers and sits with the women, but those girls don't. They're all so busy, but we get together and we talk and I learn. So I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that if you've never been exposed to it before, you have to, it may seem kind of even foreign to you. So
Mhm.
now you have the opportunity to go and when you put out energy, make sure you're putting out the right kind of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Not gender inequality within.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody joining us.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Kevin. Are you there?
He's connecting. It's funny when people get the time frames wrong. The oh, there we go. Hi, Kevin. The class is long finished. We were just chatting here.
If you go to goldenageofgaia.com, you can see all the different meetings that we have. And so if you want to be a part of this, you are more than welcome.
Absolutely. And we'll be joining again on Friday at 7 o'clock PST. And Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 5 o'clock PST. So that's 8 p.m. EST, depending on where you are in the world. Okay, well, I think we had a great discussion here.
Feel finished?
All finished. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Well,
that was fun. Thank you so much. That was really good. That was very helpful.
See you on Friday.
See you on Friday. Okay, bye for now.